Dana White recently expressed his frustration, claiming he was robbed of the chance to witness a hated rival suffer a knockout at the hands of a UFC legend. This dramatic statement came amid ongoing tensions and sharp exchanges between White and some of his fiercest critics in the combat sports world. Over the years, Dana White, the president of the UFC, has faced numerous adversaries, but one rivalry stands out as particularly intense. White's infamous altercation with Tito Ortiz on a plane, sparked by years of simmering conflict, remains a legendary moment in MMA history. Yet beyond Ortiz, there's another combat sports icon who has frequently clashed with White, especially as White has expanded his reach into boxing. White's recent foray into the boxing world has not been without controversy. Many critics, including respected boxing figures, have openly questioned his involvement, arguing that his approach could harm the sport. This criticism has only intensified as White now finds himself competing directly against a rival he once hoped to see defeated in a brutal knockout. One of the most notable incidents occurred around UFC 266, held at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, where featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski faced Brian Ortega in a thrilling main event. Shortly after Volkanovski's hard-fought victory, Oscar De La Hoya, a legendary boxer and longtime White adversary, publicly criticized the UFC and White for what he perceived as unfair pay for the champion. De La Hoya tweeted, "Hey Alexander Volkanovski, you just won a brutal battle for the UFC and made 1/20th of what you're worth. Dana White, have some respect for yourself and these fighters and pay these warriors what they deserve." This pointed comment highlighted ongoing debates about fighter compensation in the UFC, a topic that continues to divide fans and insiders alike. Although Dana White did not attend the post-fight press conference, he wasted no time responding to De La Hoya's remarks. About 40 minutes later, White fired back with a cutting retort referencing De La Hoya's recent withdrawal from a comeback fight against UFC legend Vitor Belfort due to COVID-19. White accused De La Hoya of faking the illness, sarcastically suggesting he deserved an Academy Award for his hospital performance. He wrote, "Shut the fuck up. Faking that you had COVID and robbing me of watching you get knocked the out by Vitor Belfort. This exchange is just one example of the bitter rivalry between White and De La Hoya, who has also been openly critical of White's involvement in boxing. As the former promoter of Canelo Alvarez, De La Hoya has not held back in expressing his disdain for White's recent ventures outside the UFC. De La Hoya's criticism extended beyond just White's boxing promotion efforts. He took aim at White's handling of regulatory issues, particularly White's attempt to amend the Muhammad Ali Act, which governs fighter protections. De La Hoya claimed, "Dana White didn't have his best week. His t-shirt shrank smaller every minute, especially when he was questioned about his attempt to amend the Muhammad Ali Act. TKO needs it to change so they can fuck fighters over." Adding fuel to the fire, De La Hoya described White's behavior at a recent boxing event, accusing him of skipping the undercard and only showing up at the start of the main event while being distracted by watching UFC content on his phone. De La Hoya concluded with a sharp jab, "I wonder if he regrets abandoning the UFC for a sport that doesn't want him. Dana, Canelo, fuck you." This ongoing feud raises important questions about the intersection of MMA and boxing, fighter pay, and the role of promoters in combat sports. Is Dana White's expansion into boxing a bold new chapter or a misguided venture? And what does this rivalry reveal about the business and politics behind the scenes? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you side with Dana White's vision for combat sports? Or do you agree with Oscar De La Hoya's harsh critiques? Join the conversation and let us know where you stand on this heated debate.